Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Chair Shots to the Cranium. I am your host, Steven Goforth, and my guest today is Addison, aka Addi-Go, the youngest professional wrestling podcaster on the planet. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for joining me. You've been doing okay?
Yep.
Excited about this interview?
Very.
I am too. We have the one and only, the Beverly Hills Babe from WOW Women of Wrestling, better known as Amber O'Neal, as our guest. So really excited about that. Before we get into this interview, I want to remind the fans to please visit the Chair Shots to the Cranium Instagram page, Twitter page at Chair2Cranium. That's Chair, the number 2 Cranium, Chair2Cranium, again on Instagram and on Twitter. And also the website, ChairShotsToTheCranium.com. Again, ChairShotsToTheCranium.com. A lot of cool information on that website for the avid wrestling fans, so please go check it out. Also, you can listen to past interviews and read past columns. And following us on Instagram and on Twitter, you're going to find a lot of information, a lot of news that may be breaking in the world of professional wrestling. A lot of fun pictures posted and tidbits about professional wrestling. So you don't want to miss that. You definitely want to follow on Instagram and on Twitter.
And don't forget to go get your merch, your Chair Shots to the Cranium merch now. You cannot wait. You have to go get it right now. It's amazing. It's so comfortable. I love it. But you can get that merch at prowrestlingtees.com/Chair Shots to the Cranium. Again, prowrestlingtees.com/Chair Shots to the Cranium.
And the merchandise is very comfortable.
It is very.
I'm actually wearing a shirt right now. Love it. So go check that out. Get your own merch. Follow us and support us. We greatly appreciate it. So without further ado, let's head right into our interview with the one and only Amber O'Neal. Ladies and gentlemen, our guest today is a very successful and accomplished women's wrestler. She is a former NWA Women's World Champion and has won countless championships throughout her career. She is currently a huge star known as the Beverly Hills Babe on WOW Women of Wrestling, and she continues to set the wrestling world on fire. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome as our guest Amber O'Neal. Amber, how are you today?
I am doing good. Thank you for having me. Please excuse my voice. It's nearly gone. As we build up to WOW, it's been very hectic, schedule-wise, and I'm not even in California yet. I leave in 2 days, but I'm just losing my voice. I hope it comes back before the show, though. So please excuse the Demi Moore huskiness.
Well, I'm sure you've been very, very busy. Well, as I mentioned in my opening statement, you're a current superhero for WOW, the leader in women's professional wrestling. For fans who may be listening to this that do not know a lot about WOW, tell them more about women of wrestling.
Well, here's the thing. If you don't know what WOW is now, you're 100% going to if you are a wrestling fan. WOW is a company that was created by the same guy, the same mastermind, the same genius, David McLane, that created Glow, which was an extremely popular women's wrestling series. It was kind of like a cultural phenomenon in its time. And, it just was a really successful women's wrestling television show. And David McLane has always been very, very, he knew what his vision was. And he always stuck to it. That is one thing I will always say about David McLane. He had a vision, and he stuck to it. And even when it fell through, he never gave up. And I've been working with this man since like 2011, 2012. Mm-hmm. And I have been with him for this journey of WOW Superheroes from like 2011, 2012 till now. It did have, WOW Women of Wrestling did have a run in like the early 2000s. You may remember it.
Right.
It was on like syndicated television.
Right.
I was actually a fan of the show. So what WOW Superheroes is the same vision David McLane has always had, which is a women's wrestling television show showcasing female athletes, pro wrestlers in a very character-driven show. And Glow had a documentary that Little Egypt, who I love and is one of my very best friends, I'm actually partnering up with her on a business venture here in the next couple of months that I'm so excited about.
Nice.
But that's a whole other story. But she, helped produce a documentary for Glow, to kind of tell the backstory of it. And I think it just really took a life of its own, causing Netflix to pick up, a series called Glow. The show does showcase like a sisterhood coming to life, what the girls genuinely did go through trying to create this brand and this television show. All of these random girls that were not professional wrestlers were auditioned for a part. They were not professional wrestlers. They were trained just like they are on the show. There is, some fiction throughout the show, but what the show did capture is that is how Glow came to be. There was a group of women that auditioned to be professional wrestlers on a TV show. There was a vision, and the vision came to life. And as we go into season 3, you'll learn more, and the show does get successful, I'm sure, as the seasons progress. But now I feel widely secure. I feel very secure that the big success that Glow Netflix has had is been very instrumental in us getting this amazing opportunity for WOW Superheroes to have a television show on AXS TV. And it's very amazing to see David work so hard on something and see it come to light, and just working with him so closely throughout the years of continuously filming and repackaging and pitching. And, finally, thanks to Jeanie Buss, she, wanted to support women and female athletes, so she decided to get involved. So David McLane partnered up with Jeanie Buss, who is the owner of the Lakers. Hello, a female powerhouse leading the way. Could not be more proud to be part of something with, led by such powerful people. Then, she got on board, and that was just amazing in itself. And then here comes Mark Cuban, the owner of the Dallas Mavericks, the owner of AXS TV, which also airs New Japan, which I also worked on that show. So I feel very proud to be part of the only 2 wrestling shows that AXS TV, whichever one you want to call it, has to offer. I feel very blessed. It was a vision, and then it was a woman who, is all about women's empowerment, and she, wanted to showcase female athletes just like she does her Lakers, and she got on board, and then MGM got on board, who also produces Lucha Underground, and then here comes Mark Cuban, and honestly, we have a recipe for success, and we're about to change the face of women's wrestling. We will be the first all-women's wrestling television show to air since Glow, other than the syndicated WOW Women of Wrestling show in the early 2000s, but that was syndication. We have a legitimate primetime television show now, and it is a historical event because it is the first one since Glow. And I just say kudos to David McLane for never giving up, and because of him, a lot of women's dreams are getting ready to come true.
Yeah, I was going to say that deal with AXS TV is a huge thing for the company. I'm sure that everybody has to be extremely excited about that.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and working with New Japan and just knowing the popularity of it, and knowing how that thanks to Mark Cuban for airing New Japan, there's a huge wrestling fan base watching that show. Yeah, and I don't know this for sure, so there's no quoting here, but I believe that we're supposed to air in January 2019.
Yes.
And I think it's supposed to air after New Japan, but I'm not 100% sure. So I'm personally just crossing my fingers for that. But either way, the show is going to be a success. I don't know if you've been keeping up with the announcements on the WOW Superhero social media channels, but the cast is straight fire. We just announced Jessica Havoc yesterday. Tessa Blanchard just signed. Oh my gosh, there's just so many. Santana Garrett. We're changing the names, so these girls have different names. Eddie Guerrero's daughter. She's a new ring announcer. It just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And I think, a lot of people, kind of didn't have high expectations. but people are starting to see that this is a company to not be taken lightly. This show has star power. And this cast, I think, may very well be, no, I don't think, I know, this is the most talented, most beautiful group of diverse female athletes I've ever seen in one company in my entire life.
You're a former WOW Tag Team Champion. Now, is this a championship that you have your eyes on again, or is the Beverly Hills Babe going to take down the current WOW Champion and become the WOW World Champion?
The Beverly Hills Babe is just, she's going to do one thing. She's going to go there and she's going to steal the show. She's going to make history just like she did in Japan. I made history 6 times in Japan underneath my Bullet Babe character. I'm going to break that record in WOW Superheroes. And I don't care if it involves a belt or not. Of course, I'll always be after every piece of gold I can get, just as well as every diamond I can get my hands on, because I'm all about the bling. You'll see that when you watch the show. But I'm all about stealing the show. And I don't have to have a belt to do it. Some people need a belt to shine.
I want the fans to understand the backstory of Amber O'Neal. Now, how did you begin your career, and what inspired you to become a professional wrestler?
That's a story that I've told many times, and it's, pretty simple. I went to a friend's house that was having a WWE pay-per-view party, and I had never seen wrestling other than Glow, which is another thing that makes being part of this project so surreal, because I remember watching the Glow Girls on Phil Donahue, and I just remember seeing those girls like Godiva. Hollywood was my favorite. Godiva was my other favorite. And it's so freaking funny because now, like, I'm working with Godiva and Little Egypt on, like, a business venture. Like, we are building a business together.
I bet that's exciting.
I'm just going to be talking about that on a different date. But, wow, how weird is life? Because I was just watching the show and I was like, I just think these women are the most amazing things I've ever seen. Like, and the crowd was giving them a little bit of a hard time. And I was like, this kid was like, no, these women know what's up. Like, they're smart, they're beautiful, they're athletic. I want to be that kind of woman when I grow up. Well, fast forward, Glow was no longer. I went on with my life. Then my friend's like, hey, I'm having this pay-per-view party. You should come watch it. And I'm like, no, I don't watch wrestling. She's like, well, there's this one girl on the show that's, pretty badass. She was like, I think you might like her. You kind of have Sable vibes. And the only reason I went was because I just didn't have anything else to do. And I went, and Sable was on the pay-per-view. I would like to say this because it didn't scare me away. But the pay-per-view that this was the one where Owen Hart passed away. Mm-hmm. So that was my first introduction to professional wrestling outside of Glow. And all I knew was it was an insane pay-per-view, obviously. The only thing I remember is the Owen Hart situation, God rest his soul, and Sable and Stone Cold. And all I knew was that Sable was everything I'd ever wanted to be in my entire life. And I walked away from that house that night, and it wasn't like, oh, I'm a wrestling fan. It was like, how do I get a job like that? Because I'm not very much that type of person. Like, I'm in the process of studying to be a travel writer. I want to travel, write. I want to write for travel magazines and travel blogs. So I'm taking courses for that right now, in addition to the business venture that I'm doing with Little Egypt and Godiva. But I am very much the type of person that when I see something I want, I'm going to figure out how to get it. And that's how I became a pro wrestler. I saw Sable. I knew that was the kind of woman I wanted to look like. I knew I wanted to be athletic. I knew that I wanted to work on a show like that. And 2 weeks later, I was in a wrestling school in Charlotte, North Carolina called NWA Wrestling Academy. And 3 weeks later, I was wrestling Leilani Kai live on a show.
Nice.
And it just, that's where it started, and I just never stopped. I just kept going.
Well, Amber, I love that WOW is focused on empowering women. What do you think the future holds, not just for WOW, but for the entire women's division in professional wrestling?
Well, honey, that is one of the reasons that I'm so passionate about this project. Because in addition to WOW Superheroes, I am also building a business based on women's empowerment. I have heavily gotten into the women's empowerment movement, as has Jeanie Best, and that's what this show is all about. And the way that I feel about this in particular show, as well as the the women's empowerment movement, is Wow Superheroes is a women's empowerment platform. There are women of all backgrounds, of all races, of all age groups. And we are portraying not just superheroes in the ring, but we are all real-life superheroes, and that is how we got our job on that show. We had to have a backstory where we had to become these very strong women based upon our life experiences, no matter what it may be. Every one of us were handpicked because we went through something that company found very inspirational, and they are giving us a platform to tell our story, and not just how we became a trained superhero to wrestle in the ring, but how we became real-life superheroes. And our goal is to empower and inspire women of all ages, of all backgrounds, from 12 to 70. We don't care how old you are. We don't care where you come from. We don't care who you are. We are here to inspire you. We are here to let you know that you can do whatever you want to do. Hey, we're not standing here in this ring wrestling for you on television just for us. We're here to show you that you can do whatever you want, anytime you want. All you have to do is decide that you want to do it. And the whole concept behind this show is to uplift, empower, inspire, and aspire. And as far as women's wrestling and the rest of the wrestling world, I don't really know what their message is or what their purpose is, but it's all, very positive, and I'm happy that there's so many platforms for female wrestlers worldwide right now. It's just giving everybody more opportunities, but I'm very passionate about Wow Superheroes because the message is we are here to inspire and empower you and help you find your inner superhero, and I am so down with that because my goal, when the day I retire in the ring, I want to let women know, look, you can do what you want to do. Don't let anyone in this world tell you that you can't do it, because I promise you, honey, I have spent 20 years doing something that every person told me that I couldn't do. I proved every one of them wrong, and I find so much joy in that because it lets me know that I'm a fighter, just like everybody else on this Wow Superhero cast, and it's just the most inspiring project I've ever been a part of.
Now, Amber, the superheroes of WoW are not only superheroes in the ring, but out of the ring as well by helping numerous charities. What charities are you most passionate about?
The charities that I have chosen to align with are animal conservation charities and programs. I recently joined the Marine Life Conservation, the Sea Turtle Conservation. I will be taking a trip next year to Africa, part of my travel writing expedition that I'm doing. A lot of my travel writing will bring awareness to animal conservation and like save the environment. I'm very in tune with the ocean. I'm a Cancer crab, so I'm all about marine life, taking the plastic out of our lives, making sure that there's no plastic in the ocean. I am doing elephant conservation in Africa. I'm really just aligned with the universe in the sense of we need to pull together and save this planet. The animals need our help. Not just the things that I am passionate about is animal driven, and let's get this planet like where it needs to be so we can all exist, before we don't have it anymore. So that's what I'm passionate about. So those are the charities that I'm aligning with. And we have Keita Rush, who has a self-defense center in California. It's called Team Bully Buster. And she teaches, she has her own story to tell. If you haven't heard it, you will, I'm sure. But she was bullied really bad when she was a child. And she's one of the most inspirational superheroes that we have. And she built a very empowering business to help kids learn self-defense. It's a nonprofit organization. I just find her so inspiring. But, every girl is passionate about something different. I'm personally passionate about our ocean and, these animals that need our help because they sometimes can't help themselves. humans are doing some not nice things to our animals and our planet, and I want to dedicate my charity, my time, and bring awareness to helping get this planet where it needs to be so we will always have it, and saving the animals on it.
That's great. I love animals. I love that. That's amazing.
Well, thank you, sweetheart. I'm very passionate about it, too. There's an animal conservation in multiple countries that I'm going to be working with during my travel writing expeditions in 2019. I feel like 2019 is going to be not just the year of the WOW superhero Beverly Hills Babe, but the year where I feel like I'm able to bring awareness, thanks to WOW and the platform, to so many things that I'm passionate about, like, hey, let's save these animals. Hey, let's clean up this ocean. Hey, let's save this planet. Hey, let's organize the cleanup. Hey, we just had a hurricane. Can we pull together and help these people? So I'm very grateful for this platform because it's not a selfish thing for me. I want to be able to use it to bring awareness to things that need to be brought to people's attention.
Yeah, you've wrestled some great opponents in the ring. What match or matches stand out as some of your best?
Well, of course, I'm super proud of the match that me and Maria had in New Japan. Me and Maria Kanellis, we were the first two females in the history of the world to ever lock up in New Japan. That was like one of my most proud moments. I would have to say my favorite opponent in the world is Santana Garrett. I just adore working with her. She's my friend in the ring. She's my friend when we're not in the ring, but when we get in that ring, she's my favorite person to wrestle.
Yeah.
Gosh, it's a hard question because I've just had so many matches. It's hard for me to winning the NWA Women's Championship belt, which I won from Santana, but I will say that is hands down one of my most prized, coveted moments, and taking that belt to New Japan and being the first woman to ever take it to New Japan. So I've loved wrestling so many girls. It really is hard to narrow down one, but Santana's up there with my favorite, and Mickie James as well.
Well, Amber, where do you see yourself after your career has ended? Do you want to stay in professional wrestling, maybe as a trainer, maybe as a manager, maybe even as a booker or a front office person? Do you see yourself even remaining in professional wrestling? What does the future hold for you after your career?
Well, like I just said, I'm launching, a travel blog. It's going to be called Amberant. I just starting my own travel agency. I'm very passionate about traveling. Traveling is something that I'm a free spirit, and I have a very gypsy soul, and I'm very in tune with the universe. And traveling is what lights my fire. So I didn't just want to aimlessly wander around the world. So I'm starting a blog. It is a lifestyle travel blog. I just got my health coaching license, so I will be offering health, coaching consultations. The travel agency will be a place where you can book travel through my blog as well. It's going to be called Ammo Escapes and Adventures. I do always want to be involved in professional wrestling. Maybe, when I'm done in the ring completely, I can be part of something, maybe backstage at All Superheroes. Maybe I can manage. But I do think that wrestling has been the most, I kind of for a long time, I didn't know who I was, without wrestling. Last year, I had 2 compression fractures in my back. So I didn't wrestle for a year, and honestly, I was very lost. And it was all for a reason, though, because if that would have never happened, I would have never built this business that will be launching in 2019 right along beside WOW Superheroes. So grateful for the ability to have that platform to build something inspirational for women other than just wrestling in the ring. But I do hope that I get to always do something backstage. I would always like to help the next generation come up. I would love to do anything backstage they would allow me to do. But I do know that I'm very passionate about my travel blog, my health coaching business, and the travel agency that will all be launching in 2019. So I have a very clear vision of what I will be doing the day that I stop wrestling, which, by the way, will be no time soon.
Well, hopefully not. Hopefully not. Amber, this is the Cranium Shot portion of the interview. I'm going to say a name from your past, okay? Now, you can just give a one-word brief answer. But again, this will be a name from your past. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Gail Kim.
Brilliant. Beautiful. Love working with her.
Awesome Kong.
One of my favorite people in the entire world. Just fantastic woman. What an inspiration.
All right. Daffney.
Coolest chick ever.
All right. Mickie James.
One of the most talented humans in the wrestling ring. One of the most beautiful people I've ever met. Has the soul of an angel.
All right. Finally, Mercedes Martinez.
Absolutely one of my favorite people to wrestle in the entire world. I would have to say her and Santana run a real tight race to be my two favorite people to lock up with. I have so much respect for her. I step it up for her. This is funny for me to say, but some people are like, yeah, we're going to wrestle, but we're going to take it easy today. When it comes to Mercedes Martinez, I will go a step above and beyond for her. I respect her so much, and I'm so freaking happy for her and these opportunities that she's had recently with the Mae Young Classic. I can't think of anyone else that deserves it more than her.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that for sure. Well, Amber, thank you so much for your time today and for graciously granting us this interview with you. I really do appreciate it.
Well, thank you for having me. And thank you so much, Addison. I enjoyed talking with you. You are very smart, and maybe I will one day get to work with you in wrestling.
Thank you so much. I love talking to you.
I love talking to you, too. This has been one of the most fun interviews I've ever done. Thank y'all so much.
Thank you. And if you want to see Amber and the other fantastic superheroes of WOW, Women of Wrestling, be sure to watch their shows on Access TV coming up in January of 2019. Check with your local cable provider, your internet, or your satellite provider to know how to locate Access TV. Now, if you're going to be in the Los Angeles area, the events are scheduled for October the 10th and 11th at the Belasco Theater. Tickets for the matches are on sale at Ticketmaster. For more information about the events, visit the website at wowe.com. That's WOWE.com. Again, thank you so much for being our guest today, Amber.
Well, thank you. But I also want to let our listeners know that you need to go follow WOW Superheroes on Twitter and Instagram at WOW Superheroes. Everything you want to know. We're announcing new girls every single day. If you want to know who the next big name that's coming to WOW Superheroes in October, stay glued to the Twitter and the Facebook and the Instagram, because we're announcing a new girl right up until the day of the show. It's so exciting. The star power is insane. The talent is insane. This show is going to be insane. I suggest that we really, really get ready, because we're about to do something groundbreaking in women's wrestling.
Absolutely. Again, good luck, Amber. We can't wait to see you. Take care.
You too. Have a great day, guys.
You too. Thanks.